32 FM.
The station admired by other radio stations. 32 FM.
One tagline is never enough. 32 FM 94.9. Filling the world with laughter.
Are you ready? Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Morning on 32 FM 94.9. Welcome to Break of Dawn Newspaper Review. My name is DELE ADEYANJU. I am not alone this morning.
My name is Kenny DUROTILU, and of course, welcome. We're set to take you through the pages of the dailies this morning. I have with me the Punch newspaper, the Daily Post, and the Nation.
This
newspaper.
Morning, the Premium Times, the Guardian newspaper, and the Daily Trust newspaper.
I'll start off with the Punch newspaper. Major story this morning, governorship primary, tough battles in Oyo, Sokoto, Rivers, APC as 44,045 delegates elect candidates. Also, CSOs demand audit of $366 million Ogoni cleanup, alleged secret fund disbursements or Shimbajo to cater for Niger delegates' welfare during primaries. Arresting Deborah's killers is the easy part. I believe that's an editorial piece out of the Punch newspaper this morning. How my mom's boyfriend defiled me, 6-year-old. Northern Elders Forum secession comment threatens Nigeria's security. That's according to Ohaneze. 80 billion naira fraud. EFCC uncovers 17 properties linked to accountant general. Also, community seeks reversal of Okada ban, promises Sanwo-Olu massive votes. Stories coming out of the southwest this morning. Jet A1, others may push flight above 100,000 naira. Domestic airlines, APC youths propose dialogue with Tinubu or Shimbajo. Others succumb to manipulation, lose acceptance. CSOs won Facebook. Others.
From the Premium Times newspaper, Buhari to decide fate of ministers who shelved political ambitions. Lai Mohammed. Traders, motorcyclists clash in Abuja market over death of motorcycle passenger. Federal government suspends Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, as EFCC traces more suspicious assets. U.S. most complicit nation in helping tax evaders hide wealth. Report. Police officers attack BBC journalist covering IPOB seat at home. Gunmen kill 4 vigilante members in Anambra. Federal government makes U-turn, withdraws amended charges against Nnamdi Kanu defense lawyers. Just a few more. 1 Fiat killed as gunmen attack Enugu community. Set vehicle ablaze. EFCC detains ex-NDDC MD Nsima Ikere. Police arrest Greenfield student kidnappers. Others. Federal Executive Council approves 169.7 billion naira for the construction of 4 roads via tax credit scheme. And APC adjusts timetable for primaries. 2023 presidency, I cannot run against Amechi, Jigawa governor.
From the Daily Post newspaper, 2023 presidency, why we change date for presidential primary. Others, APC reschedules presidential primary politics. There for you. Finance Minister suspends Accountant General indefinitely over 80 billion naira fraud. FEC uncertainty in Buhari's cabinet over absorbing returning ministers. Breaking as well from the Daily Post this morning. This one. It says EFCC arrests ex-NDDC MD in Nsima Ikere. Elsewhere in the pages of the Daily Post, FCT minister closes Day market over clash between Okada traders. Kwara speaker declares Edo State constituency seat vacant. FEC approves 169.7 billion naira for reconstruction of 4 roads. Kano explosion, Buhari mourns, sends message to victims' families. FEC Aviation Ministry to acquire AIB equipment office space in Abuja at 4.045 billion naira. Windstorm destroys 220 houses in Jigawa. Osinbajo meets Niger APC delegates behind closed doors in Mina. Still talking politics there. Ogun 2023 APC aspirants members in confusion over party primaries.
All right, from the Guardian newspaper, presidential primaries intrigues as PDP loses Eagle Square to APC. Stock market sets new milestone as investors gain over 5 trillion naira in 4 months. Poor patronage, high production costs shrink textile firms to below 20. Dollar breaks 600 naira to $1, ceiling ahead of party primaries. Also, 2023 APC PDP in mind game over primaries. How influential politicians get away with corruption by Falana. No plan to ban Facebook over IPOB. Government clarifies. Moye urges media to support youth aspiring to political offices. Court strikes out new charges against Kanu. My presidency will ensure unity. IN assures Southwest PDP delegates. SDP urges Buhari, IGP to avert breakdown of peace in Ekiti. We will not pull out of strike. Lautek ASU vows. EFCC detains ex-NDDC MD Ekere over alleged for the 7 billion naira fraud. And let's see. Okay, from here, I'm done with some economic and political stories.
In the page of the Nation newspaper this morning from the Southwest, Ekiti 2022, PDP warns against rigging, rejects PDP, SDP, Fahimi tells women. Iniedo campaigns against violence. You found the stories on page 2. Lockdown in southeast states over Nnamdi Kanu. Judge denies IPOB leader bail. Also on the front page, why APC chain dates for governorship are the primaries. Election of presidential candidate May 29/30. Party fears INEC sanctions. That's the writer to that story from the Nation front page this morning. 47 billion naira probe. EFC detains ex-NDDC minister Ekere. Minister suspends accountant general under probe for 80 billion naira fraud. Court clears Adeleke as PDP candidate. 5 die in Abuja market fire. You find all those stories. Also this one, Malami Ngige Silva, talent soon to know fate. That's on page 4. More endorsements for Tinubu in Kwara Benue. Again, Lagos restricts Okada operations in 6 councils. Ongoing legal battle like to delay Alafin's selection. That's on page 27 of the Nation.
From the Daily Trust newspaper, ripples as 17 outgoing governors battle to install successors. Ngige links child labor to growing poverty in Africa. Nigeria, Czech Republic launched $16.2 million R&D project. Also, Army Major commits suicide, 3 days to court-martial verdict. Justice becoming scarce in Nigerian Judiciary, Supreme Court Justice. Shekirao, how Ganduje begged me to help APC. Bandits release abducted lecturer, hold on to daughter. And Abba Gida emerges NNPP governorship candidate in Kano. Atiku, there'll be no hiding place for bandits if I'm elected president. IPOB, no plan to ban Facebook. Lai Mohammed, APC reschedules presidential primaries. Others. And let's see. Army Major, we took that earlier, and I'm done from here.
Okay, we'll take a short break right now, and when we come back, we'll be taking a look at some other headlines and analysis as well. To stay with us.
láìsí àní-àní àwọn lọ́gbọ́n dorí ẹja mú wọn kì í fi iléeṣẹ́ online dynamics ṣeré nídìí ètò ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun yálà láti gbé ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí kàwé ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìwọ àti ẹbí rẹ pàápàá jùlọ àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè bíi Canada, America, UK, Finland, Australia àti Cyprus. àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ ti wá ṣí sílẹ̀ fún wọn náà láti sọ àlá rẹ di òtítọ́ nínú ètò àdéhùn àtìgbàdégbà tí iléeṣẹ́ online dynamics gbé kalẹ̀ láti bá ọ ṣètò visa ticketing pẹ̀lú admission process lọ́nà ìrọ̀rùn láì fanilápòyà. You too can take advantage of online dynamics expertise and experience experience by joining our periodic visa, ticketing, and foreign educational package promo today. Our services at Online Dynamics give value for money. Fly with us now and pay later. Ẹ kàn sí wa lájà kẹrin Cocoa House Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn tàbí lọ́fíìsì ìrànlọ́mọ tó wà ní 25 Oyedoku Street, Àgọ́wandé Òṣogbo. Telephone 0810-273-8145. Follow us on social media at Online Dynamics. Ẹ má gbàgbé oògùn tá a fowó ṣe ẹ̀yìn àrò ní gbé o. Darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn lọ́gbọ́n lónìí ní Online Dynamics. Òkè lẹ́yẹ ń fọ̀hún.
Uncle Dentist, what be cavities and how Colgate take they protect my teeth from cavities? Shey they use Comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth they cause most tooth pain will be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula could help keep natural calcium inside our teeth. We could protect them from tooth decay.
Time don't reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate. Because Colgate locks calcium in.
Yes, cavities out!
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
The best things in life are free. Free drinks, free food, free opportunities, free. You get the point. But just when you thought it couldn't get any better, in comes Jumia's free delivery in Ibadan. Yup. For every Jumia purchase, your goods will be delivered to you anywhere in Ibadan for, you guessed that right, free! So start ordering your everyday essentials today on Jumia. Jumia, your everyday delivered.
I'm living the life cause I get to
Hey! Kọ́ńbù ẹ̀kú àlejò emú gbòǹgbòǹnà ẹ̀kú àlejò ẹsẹ̀. Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé ẹ̀kú àmójúbà Tizeti Network Limited. Pẹ̀lú Tizeti, ìlò omi òjò lẹ́ẹ̀ máa lo ayélujára íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ní Yàwàlù. Torí pé gbajúgbajà nílé iṣẹ́ Tizeti Network Limited nídìí ìpèsè ayélujára lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún ilé-iṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti olókoòwò kéékèèké lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti. Ẹ lè browse, kẹ́ stream, kẹ́ sì tún gbá géèmù bó ṣe wù yín láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìlànà ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́mùkú data. Kèé máa ṣeré, ìwọ ni kó o má sọ̀fànù. 12,500 naira péré lẹ́ẹ̀fì jẹ mùlá data fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú 59,500 naira tí wọ́n fi bá yín gbé kalẹ̀. Tẹ́sí lo ayélujára fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko láì níkọ̀sẹ̀. Ẹ kàn sí wifi.com.ng/oyo. Ẹ sì lè pè 090-8749-3040 090-8749-3040 tàbí kẹ́ ẹ tẹ àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí internet@wifi.com.ng. Ayélujára ní Yàwàlù, Ọ̀yọ́ ló wà.
Hey, put a spotlight on me. Now let me tell you this. I used to care for the world's opinion.
And I used to fear their rejection.
Omo, I used to beg for validation.
And I used to wait to be seen.
But now, no more.
No more. No more.
Because my time.
My time?
My time.
My own time is now. So what are you waiting for?
INT'L Malta. Be your best.
Guy, I don't use your phone.
Sir, you went to do your clone line now.
Mama, calm down now. No be this and I ain't stress.
You don't say as I link my line clone, that's be plenty bonus.
Yeah.
Yes. Once you link your line, you know say clone will give you like 20,000 naira bonus.
20,000? 20,000 naira bonus after you don't link it.
Yes.
Guy, take a phone. I don't leave my NIN now. Yeah.
This bonus now for both new and existing customers. So.
Unlimited.
Here comes the Mega City Crusade, the Truth 2022. There shall be signs and wonders.
Aha! Better don't land for Ibadan City. City of Hope Foundation. Welcome now for all the Truth 2022 City-wide crusade. Where in team be the truth. Servant of God will go feed us with the word of God that day now. Prophet M.O. Olowale Baba Automatic. Bishop Francis Waleoke, PFN National President. Reverend Samson Ajetumobi, Oyo State PFN Chamo. Pastor Moses Lano, Christ Life Church, Maryland, USA. Apostle Clement Olu Olajimi, Shining Light World Outreach. Dr. Francis Bola Akijon, Church Growth International. Gospel artist will go praise God with us that day now. Evangelist Dr. Bola Are, Evangelist Dr. Bukola Kiadeshewele Jesu, and others. Date for this crusade that Thursday 16, last Saturday 18 June 2022. Venue na Liberty Stadium waiting for Ibadan. Time now 4:30 p.m. every day. Ministers Conference go show face for 9 a.m. for Thursday 16th plus Friday 17th June 2022. Now for Okeado Baptist Church, Liberty Road, Ibadan. Come know the truth and make you set yourself free. Jesus is Lord.
There shall be signs and wonders.
Mommy will come and put on the radio set. Don't worry, I'll tell Mommy.
Let me put on my radio set now.
Mommy, please, we want to listen to the Smart Kids show. It comes up Monday to Friday, 7:15 to 7:45 a.m. so we can prepare our minds for school work.
Okay, Smart Kids show. I love it too.
Thank you, Mommy.
Oh yes, 7:15 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. is the time. Mondays through Fridays. Join Auntie Yellow on the Smart Kids Show.
Oh, I wanna build a train track.
All right, 16 minutes to 7 o'clock. This is the Break It Down Paper Review, 32 FM 94.9. We have with us Professor Oluwajedekun. Good morning, Prof.
To you.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the issues out of the papers this morning. I have this one: President undecided on the reassumption of some of his cabinet ministers who recently withdrew from the presidential race to finish their terms as ministers. You have the likes of Ngige, Silva, Malami, and the likes there. What do you make of this? Are they in the limbo right now?
Oh, if of course they resign, and it appears from that report that they did indeed resign, then they have to be represented to the National Assembly. So of course, yes, they're in limbo, and some might say it's good for them. You have to make up your mind politically. And politics, it comes with risks. You understand? If you're not prepared to take risks, then don't even bother. Just sit in a cushy number like I'm sitting in. So yes, it comes with risk, but it also shows you that in spite of the humongous amount of monies that nomination forms elicits or demands, people are prepared to gamble. I saw it as a gamble, and for some of them, it's a gamble that has not really worked out well at this stage.
For some of them, it's an investment, as being insinuated.
Yes, for some of them, it's an investment. I'm sure that some of them decided to change their minds after a doubling or a trebling or whatever. There must have been some incentive, except that money didn't, even if that money didn't belong to them, whoever gave the money will want a return on their investment.
That's quite a gamble, $100 million.
Do you think Akinwumi Adesina gambled too? Do you think he wanted that position?
No, I don't think so. I think he's very comfortable in his current position.
So who paid for him?
Well, I think some well-wishers and some people who are seeking influence peddlers. Akinwumi Adesina, if you know him, is very straight, in terms of the way he approaches issues. And if he wanted it, he would have gone for it. When he wanted a second term in this ADB position, he didn't hide it. He lobbied and he got it. And I think if I were him, I would stay in that position, continue to make my impact across Africa and bid my time. He's still relatively young, he can, at some point in time, within the next 8 years, decide to throw his hat into the ring.
Just the same way some people bought farms for Jonathan.
Well, some people bought farms for Jonathan. I think that's just a laugh. Some of us would have thought, because some of us respected Jonathan, even though we felt that as president, he wasn't too much of a good president. But we respected that when the time came up, he gave up. He did not fight needlessly, the loss of the election. It brought some peace, it brought some stability, it brought some sanity into the political process. And we thought that dignity will carry it forward as an elder statesman, bearing its influence, shaping some of the political terrain. Well, he's decided to get dirty, and when I mean dirty, I mean politically dirty, get his hands into the ring. And whatever comes, I think he has to cope with it.
Are politicians just going with the flow? Do they know exactly what they want? Like you just mentioned, Akinwumi Adesina right now, and he's somebody who a lot of people respect. Yes. I know that. You said he's clear. He knows exactly what he wants. Is it a case of, okay, because people buy forms for me, then I'll just take it up? Is that what I want, or is it what the people want?
No. At the end of the day, when you say the people, who are the people anyway? And how do you know what anybody wants? It's easy for me to say I don't want to be president of Nigeria. But when presented with it almost on a platter of gold, a lot of people will take the opportunity. But there are many of us who will never, fight for it, except it's presented in our front. And the nomination form is the next stage, because if you win the nomination of the APC, then you have 50% chance of becoming the president. So there are a lot of people who will consider the options and say, well, it's not going to do me any harm. And there are people who have impressions, supporters. They are looking for people to play. In other words, people to control and people to exert influence over.
All right, I have a report here. Justice John Ayango Okoro of the Supreme Court says justice and truth is becoming scarce in the Nigerian judiciary because of corruption. is actually targeting. You know, we have people being arrested here and there. Somebody again was arrested last night for theft of billions of naira here and there, and at the end of the day, nothing happens. And for those people that were arrested and jailed, Mr. President released them.
Yeah, but it's not the fault of the judiciary that the president decided to exercise the prerogative of mercy.
That's for that.
That's for that. Well, the person that was arrested, we'll wait and see what the judiciary does. It depends on the prosecution. The judiciary consists of the prosecution. Where the defense comes in, then it consists of the bench. And if the prosecution is bringing half-baked cases that don't make any sense, then the judiciary is not going to, you understand, convict the person. Apart from that, the judiciary, you understand, has limited resources. You know, in cases, there's places in Abuja where a judge sits over 17 cases a day. You know, how do you expect a maximum efficiency from that judge? So that the resources are limited. It's only in Lagos that judges don't write longhand. Do you know how it is to write long? I don't even write longhand except to sign documents. Do you know how it is to write longhand for hours and hours and hours? You know, so that diminishes their efficiency and their effectiveness. If we had more judges, if we had more money deployed or invested in the judiciary, then maybe we'll get better results, you know, from that point of view. But also, the judiciary is not immune from what's going on in Nigeria. We know in Nigeria, most people, not all, but many people have a price. And of course, people can buy, you know, sometimes they can buy what they want.
Well, this one is referring to the problem of corruption and interference of the federal or the state governments in judiciary administration. So it's different from what you are from the angle.
Yes, the angle I'm taking it from. Yes, no, there's no doubt that people have been crying for, shouting, screaming for the autonomy of the judiciary. And that will save the judiciary, you understand, from interference. Whichever way you look at it, whether it's the federal that is controlling the money or whether it's the state that is controlling the money, there will be some level of influence. But I think what they're asking for is that independently judiciary controls the purse strings so that we don't get influence, you know, we don't get the governors, you know, waking up in the morning and buying Padro jets and saying, oh yes, you know, we're investing in the judiciary.
You know, in Nigeria, when you have cases hanging on your neck, anytime you decide to join the ruling party, then the cases are off automatically.
No, that's not exactly correct.
Are you sure?
In some instances, it has appeared to happen. I think we need to be very careful.
It has happened or it has appeared to happen?
Well, it has appeared to happen because we don't know the nitty-gritty. You know, we have to be very fair to this government. We know that this government, you know, is ludicrous or has some issues, you understand, and it's incompetent in many areas. But at least we have to be very fair to that. I think that there has been some coincidence. But within the coincidence, of course, we have the cases of prerogative of mercy. And so people will raise that and say, Oluwa Jedikun, what are you talking about? Yes, sometimes it happens, you know, or appears to happen.
All right, Prof, let's take a look at the EFCC having traced at least 17 properties to the embattled Accountant General of the Federation, that's Ahmed Idris. We also understand that he's been suspended right now by the Minister of Finance. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it has to go through the legal process, the due process. The man is an accountant. He's been an accountant for several years and he's been in that position. It's possible that through creative investment, he's been able to maintain investment.
So it's not illegal to have 17 properties?
No, it can't be illegal to have 17 properties. Well, of course it's illegal to involve yourself in embezzlement, maladministration, fraud and whatever might be. I'm not saying he involved himself in that. I think the courts have to prove it. But I think the onus now is on the prosecution to prove that those monies or those properties were illicitly gathered, you know, from that point of view. But I think it's a bit of a concern that this is a man that the president fought tooth and nail to extend his tenure after his retirement, you know, and he has repaid the president handsomely, you understand, with this kind of scandal. It's a scandal. Even if it's cleared, it is a scandal. For the EFCC to point in his direction, you know, it must mean that there's some substance somewhere, you know, from that point of view. Maybe it's his subordinates that did it, but somebody somewhere, you know, squirreled away about 80 billion. No wonder ASU doesn't want to stop his strike, because ASU will be saying if 80 billion can be squirreled away and we are asking for 100 billion initially, 50% of what they're asking for, then why should we stop our strike? It shows that there's money in the system and all you have to do is be persistent in your fight, and eventually maybe the money will drop.
Some people have said he's not acted alone.
It's not. Well, he couldn't have acted alone. 80 billion, if that is true, he couldn't have acted alone. Of course, he will have accomplices. Of course, he will have people down the line that he's worked with, if indeed it's proven to be true.
Is that position a career office or a political office?
It's supposed to be a career office.
It's supposed to be.
Yes, but under the APC, who knows what's going on? You understand? It's supposed to be a career office. You choose to select the best person, you understand? It's not like Attorney General, which is a political office. Accountant General of the Federation, you even have Auditor General, you have positions like the Surveyor General. Those positions that you rise through the civil service. And if you want to be, if the political appointees are the permanent secretary, those are the political political appointees, but the rest below them, you understand, a career. You build your career, and if you pass the relevant exams, if you operate on merit, if you're able to achieve that, then of course you get promoted.
So this man is a member of the AN and not the ICANN.
Yeah. You know what used to happen? ICANN was the only professional body for accountants for years, and it was during the 1979, 1980 that ANAN came up. Because some of these ANAN members then didn't pass the ICANN exams, and they wanted an alternative which wasn't as rigorous. And I'm going back then because what's happening now might be different. And they came up. And so there's still that snobbery, you understand? Where some people say, oh no, if you belong to ANAN, you're not as superior, as good as those that belong to ICANN. And it may not necessarily be true.
All right, we have the dollar, 600 naira against, 600 naira to a dollar now. And where does that take us? And we've been shouting from the start of the year. It's been around 570, 580, 590. Now it has hit 600 naira to a dollar.
Well, there's a scarcity of dollar. Remember that there was a governorship candidate in a particular state, I won't mention the state, who was going around and saying dollar exists, euro exists, pounds, anything you want, you understand? When he was appealing for votes, very crude, very open, and very brazen. And so a lot of politicians have cornered the dollar. There's a scarcity of dollar. That's why it's going up. And apart from that, economy is not doing too well. So we cannot cushion that scarcity. And that's why the dollar keeps on going up. I think it will settle, but it's not encouraging. For those who have investments in Naira, it's not encouraging at all. You're better off, finding some alternative instrument, alternative vehicle. People are coming to people and say, oh, you give you 7%, to invest huge millions. Why would you invest 7% when you know that 7% will be wiped off? You're better, finding another vehicle. So it's unfortunate, And what it means is that prices of things that are impacted by foreign exchange continue to rise. So it is more misery for the common man, more misery.
Prices of imported goods.
Precisely. So not just prices of imported goods, because the market woman also buys imported goods. So of course she's going to add upon.
Now, I wanted to ask, what don't we import in Nigeria? We import virtually everything.
No, some might suggest that we don't import corruption.
Nice one. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has blamed Nigeria's poor revenue generation on leakage and corruption in the tax system. This is even as he harped on the need for digitalization of Nigeria's economy. Prof, what do you make of that?
Well, Professor Yemi Osinbajo always makes eminent sense, but remember that he's the Vice President of the Federation. He's not just an ordinary candidate. And so the question is that, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, what have you done whilst in government? It's not an indictment on you. It's not an indictment on your principal. That you now come up with all these things. These things are true. He's known them for the past 7 years. So why hasn't he done something about it? We are an under-taxed economy. You understand? There's leakages. It's no doubt about that. Very few people pay tax, and as a result, we're not getting the maximum that we should. And when people pay tax, they don't see the rewards or the returns. Therefore, people are not encouraged to pay tax. Tax avoidance or evasion is not just by the ordinary person on the street. There are employments, you understand, that actively engage, you understand, in ignoring tax and not doing what the necessaries that they should do. So it's double pronged. It is the employees, it is the members, the workers, but it's also a lot of the employers, and beyond that, the businessmen, those that make serious and humongous amounts of money. We must find ways to harness our tax system. One of the things I've said, it dies that nobody takes me that seriously, but I think a proper, road taxation system, which not penalizes, but which focuses more on the wealthy who have 10 cars. If you are having 10 cars, 5 cars, you should be able to pay extra tax over and above every other person, because you're using the road more, you understand, and you're using, facilities more. But we'll see whether a new president will begin to consider measures like that.
How do the rich go about evading tax so seamlessly? Because, like you said, it's the upper class.
No, but I mean,
who have the means and.
Well, if you have money, liquid money, and you give people that are in government positions or wherever they are, and you give them regularly and the people say you're generous, do you know they're prepared to turn their blind eye to many things because they're used to Yoruba parlance or English Nigerian parlance? They're eating from your hands. They're benefiting. So why would they pursue you vigorously when anytime they see you're able to drop 10,000, 5,000, you understand? They're able to give you a part of the largesse. So instead of you doing your job properly, you're not even sure about your salary, you're not sure whether it's going to cater for your transport the next day, and so on. So the people that are there, you understand, they know the way to play the system, and people respond. But if people are well paid, that are dealing with tax and so on and so forth, effectively, and you're giving them peanuts, they just look at you. You know, I don't need this from you, you understand? I'm well off on my own.
Aside from that, digitalization said to help.
Well, digitalization, when it's talking about that, I imagine that you don't have to go through anybody to pay your tax. You don't have to go to anybody through assessment. Everything is done automatically, you understand? And so what you get at home is just your assessment. And you go onto the internet or whatever it is, you pay your tax, you move on. And if you don't, automatically you get your penalty notice. You know, so you don't engage with anybody at all. So it's very difficult to go and start bribing the internet, you understand? Or the software, whatever. Mm-hmm.
All right, there's a report on the one of the pages of the Premium Times. The United States is now the most complicit nation in helping tax evaders and corrupt politicians around the world to hide their wealth from the rule of law. According to a new assessment by Tax Justice Network, a UK-based group, it is the worst US worst performance since the ranking began in 2009. So people have said that in the US, if you steal money, if you evade tax and all that, since the money will be working for their own economy, then it's good business.
Well, I think that's not the new. I think it used to be Switzerland in those days because there was a tight secrecy laws in Switzerland. It used to be the Cayman Islands and all those Bahamas and so on and so forth. So, but it's quite surprising that the US has now overtaken them. And I think the reason might be because that's where a lot of people are gravitating to. Maybe they're getting better returns. But I think it's not in the interest of the US for that to continue to happen, particularly if it's impoverishing so-called third world countries. Because at the end of the day, many of them are going to rush to your country. They're going to come there. If there's poverty in Nigeria, if there's poverty in Africa, they're going to gravitate towards elsewhere. A lot of people in Nigeria who are not living in Nigeria because they don't have money. They have money. But because their level of comfort, you understand, their money cannot buy the level of comfort they need. Their money cannot buy the level of education they need. So whatever they've squirreled away from Nigeria economy, they take it to the US. Apart from that, remember that people are not going to invest their money in Naira. They're going to invest it in dollars. Why? Because the stability of the dollar and the instability of the Naira.
We'll take a break for some messages. When we come back, we open the phone lines and we'll read your messages on Facebook and YouTube. Stay with us.
To chase my dreams, to become who I wanna be, add my flavor to my life and make it truly mine. Mama door, taste of food and nutrition, cooking oil, spread and seasoning. Explore your flavor with Mama door, just like cooking with recipes. Add a little here, take some out there. Flavors flow like energy. Unlock you with Mama door.
Explore your flavor. Sumbo. Why are you going looking like you want to beat somebody? My sister, see trouble oh. Abeg, see wetin I order. See wetin the deliver give me. It resemble. And I don't pay online oh. Chai, now why me I dey like buy online only on Jumia and return or change my item for free if I change my mind? And you tell me before oh. Now Jumia go dey buy from going forward. But first, that's in apparel. Now me and you today. Sumbo.
Enjoy peace of mind that comes with free returns when you shop on Jumia and avoid stories that touch. Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
Get up and go, 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 go. With Cowbell Choco, go, go, go. Get up and, get up and, get up and go. No matter what you gotta do, do it. Cowbell Choco, and the rich must earn for vitality. Get up and go. Stay strong, save the world, take action. Get up and go.
Cowbell Chocolate with Vitarich plus iron.
Hey! Glo fún mi ní káàdì pé ológun ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà 20,000 lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ṣáà ti so nọ́mbà ìdánimọ̀ rẹ NIN pọ̀ mọ́ òpó ìpè Glo rẹ nípa títẹ *109#. Ó simple gan ni. Bónọ́ọ̀sì yìí tó káàdì pé ológun ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà 20,000. Ó sì wà fún àwọn oníbàárà tuntun àti àwọn oníbàárà wa tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
Glo Unlimited.
Pẹ̀lẹ́ ọkọ mi, tí n bá ti gbogbo ewé ìpapọ̀ tán, kọ́ wa gbé mu, nǹkan kò kú ní ìsẹ̀mí rẹ, nítorí pé ọmọ ọwọ́ kò kú lójú ọwọ́, bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ọmọ ẹsẹ̀ kò kú lójú ẹsẹ̀.
Sista mi kí ló dé kílẹ̀ fẹ́ fi gbogbo àwọn ewé tẹ́ ẹ já kalẹ̀ yìí ṣe àti wípé ṣé ẹ mọ orúkọ táwọn ewé ń jẹ débi pé ẹ mọ iṣẹ́ tí kọ̀ọ̀kan wọn ń ṣe lágọ̀ọ́ ara ẹ jẹ́ mọ́tò dákùn nǹkan tó ń ṣe ọmọ yín ẹ wo ọ̀tọ̀ ní nǹkan tẹ́mi ń bá bọ̀ wọ́dọ̀ yín tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́n pa àjọ̀dún ọdún 13 iléeṣẹ́ M1 Naturalist Care.
Tí ẹ ti yá apọ́dún 13 nù.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àǹfààní tí wọ́n wá fi kalẹ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn tó bá wá bí àjọ̀dún ọdún 13 àwọn olóṣù kan gbáko yìí ni pé lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ná ọ̀fẹ́ lẹ́gbà káàdì ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ọ̀fẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀ṣe àyẹ̀wò láti mọ gbogbo tí máa ń ṣe yín lágọ̀ọ́ ara ẹ̀dínwó ńlá tún wá fún gbogbo àwọn oògùn tó ti iléeṣẹ́ M1 Naturalist Care jáde tẹ́ ẹ bá rà lọ́dọ̀ náà ó dín dín oṣù kan sí ni wọ́n fi ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ kejì oṣù karùn-ún títí di ọjọ́ kejì oṣù kẹfà.
Níbo wà níbi ìpàdé wọn àti pé aago mélòó ni lójoojúmọ́.
Number 17 Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn aago 9 àárọ̀ sí 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ lójoojúmọ́ ni. àmọ́ ẹ mọ́wó díẹ̀ dání o torí àti jẹ àǹfààní ẹ̀dínwó lórí àwọn oògùn tó ń ti iléeṣẹ́ M1 Naturalist Care jáde tẹ́ bá rà fún ìtọ́jú ara yín lọ́jọ́ náà.
Fún mi nọ́mbà wọn.
08034051533.
ní iléeṣẹ́ M1 Naturalist Care àlàáfíà lójú o.
Mama's helping hand.
32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. 32 FM 94.9, fourth floor Cocoa House building. The program Breakdown is a review. We have messages on Facebook and we're live on YouTube too. 32 FM 949 Ibadan. We open the phone lines right now.
070-55,949, 080-97,949. Let's take some messages out of Facebook real quick. I have this one from Raji Hafiz Biola. He says, good morning to everybody in the studio. About the suspension of Idris Ahmed, I think it's a welcome development, but it's not. It must not end on suspension alone. The federal government should give EFCC the free hand to investigate the issue into the logical conclusion and bring him to book if he's eventually found guilty of the alleged offense. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. Also, this one from Otumba Ayo. ADEYANJU says, morning analysts, as per the NDDC, an accountant general arrested for fraud and money laundering, the judicial sector will not give us correct judgment to avert or lay fears in the hearts of others from doing the same act. Let's pick the score.
Hello, good morning.
All right, keep trying that line. Let's take all the messages from Facebook. Kolawali Kazim says, it's not a scam that a governor is flagging up a road project. Is it not a scam, rather, that a governor is flagging up a road project less than 1 year before the election? What was he doing 3 years since he came into the office? Governor Makinde needs to stop propaganda. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I'm calling from I'm John in Jacob. The suspension order placed on demand is good, but all what we want to say for now is that the government should not politicize these allegations, especially at this time. When I listened to the professor, what wondered me about the way against corruption was the way Senator Tanji Adeye's corruption allegation was taken off his shoulder, because he decided to declare not to contest the president of the Senate, because APC convinced him to step down, and immediately he said that the case of corruption hanging on his neck at the federal high court was dropped. That is the biggest truth in the Nigerian entire history when you are talking of corruption fighting by this government. I want to be brief.
All right, thank you, John Njoku. There, we have a message on Facebook written by Balkis Onojiro. The Accountant General has been suspended by the Finance Minister following an investigation into 80 billion naira fraud. That's a good one there. But unfortunately, similar instances have been brought before, but not followed through on. I hope this probe sees the light of day instead of being swept under the rug like so many others. Only God knows how much money ended up in the pockets of some Nigerian politicians. Nigerians have been perplexed by the Accountant General's theft of 80 billion naira. And now, Nsima Ikere, the former NDDC chairman, has been detained for alleged 47 billion fraud, which way in Nigeria, it's always in billions.
Well, it's always in billions, and part of it is also because the naira itself, the value has gone down. But it's not an excuse. Stealing of any public money, whether it's thousands, millions, billions, or trillions, of course, it's a disaster monumentally for the people of Nigeria.
Miriam Afolabi writes, our leaders should be more concerned in promoting our made in Nigeria products and put a stop to importation of goods. Nigeria is blessed with many natural resources, but our leaders find it hard to implement our resources to promote our economy. They are so obsessed with imported goods. The president should look for suitable ways to put a stop to importation of goods and promote our economy. But the what's it called? The borders were closed.
Yes, the purpose of the borders, closing borders, was to encourage local homegrown production of rice and other commodities. Well, that failed miserably. It failed miserably because we don't have enough resources to man our borders, and also because we didn't put in place enough microeconomic policies locally to encourage and to stimulate those production that we were talking about. We had contradictory policies.
So if Nigeria failed on food consumption and food production, how are we going to succeed in stopping importation of manufacturing and all that?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, if we don't get the economic climate right, if we don't attract foreign direct investment, we are fooling ourselves. If we don't get power situation right, we are fooling ourselves. Manufacturing is going to continue to die because people, it's just too expensive. Do you know the cost of diesel? They say it's about 700 and something, you know. Nobody can sustain manufacturing industry on that basis. And so that's part of the issue that we are facing. If we get power resolved now, immediately manufacturing is going to blossom, and you see that people are going to begin to live the life that they should live.
Prof, was the indigenization policy introduced, I think, in 73 or when?
Yes, 73.
73.
Yes.
Was it a wrong move? I think our war started from then.
No, I don't think it was a wrong move, but I think it was a rushed move. I think it ought to have been gradual, but it was very, very, you understand, abrupt. And of course, initially it robbed a lot of expertise, brought in a lot of local expertise. And I think that over a long period of time, it would have been better. In fact, I think that now you look at the global economy, it makes a nonsense of indigenization policy. What does it matter if people come and control, if the manufacturing is here, and if our economy is benefiting more? I think we should have looked more at the tax system so that most of what is made in Nigeria stays in Nigeria and is not being carted away, you know, to those countries. I think that's what we should have looked at more. But having said that, government policy is not even so much indigenization. I think also the structure. So if the structure is right, then various areas can work on their own various policies.
All right, the lines are still open. 070 55949, 08097,949.
So you have some messages on Facebook. Suleiman Sharif about EFCC uncovers 17 properties linked to Accountant General. The financial analyst said if you earn 2 billion naira yearly, it will take you a total of 40 years to save 80 billion naira. But here is one man making 80 billion naira within the space of 4 years of his appointment. Okay, this APC government came on basis of fighting corruption, but it seems corruption is the second name of this government. Suleiman Sharif. Thank you for that one. Also, Miriam Afolabi says EFCC has been a toothless dog under the president-led administration at federal level. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, so we have to terminate that. Yes, just before we wrap up, are you done with those messages?
We're done with Facebook.
All right, Prof, it seems we have a lot of money in this country. When people steal in billions, no longer steal in millions.
Yes.
No, millions used to be. When people can pay 100 million naira overnight to obtain a form which is not sure, when we have over 25 people donating 100 million naira.
I've said it, let's not fool ourselves. The reason why the amount of money seems to be among us is because the naira has declined in value, but also because people have become more avaricious, more greedy, voracious in their attempt, you understand, and there are no consequences. You get a pardon. And that's what people are thinking about.
Especially when you declare for the ruling
party. When you declare. I don't know about that.
All right, thank you so much for your time with us, Professor Ojadoku. My name is DELE ADEYANJU, and that's the show this morning.
My name is Kenny DUROTILU. Up next is the Smart Kids Show.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the guest analyst and do not necessarily reflect the recommendations or perspectives of 32